Welcome back to another episode of ROC Boys Football. We're jumping on recapping the Oklahoma dominant victory in Lincoln, Nebraska. If you guys have been following along with the channel in the offseason, the Sooners have been a team we've just fallen in love with. Brent Venables seems to be a perfect match in Norman, and this was kind of a statement game. Kind of two cakewalk games against Kent State. You play UTEP. You looked a little sloppy against Kent State, quite frankly, in the first half. But Brent Venables wanted to come into Lincoln in an old rivalry game and put a stamp that he is here and the Brent Venables era has started. And he certainly did just that. I was just absolutely loving how this game played out. Before we get into it, just wanted to say thank you guys, especially the Sooner fans. You guys have been absolutely awesome. The best fan base in the country when it comes to college football. Down in Norman, that's what matters, and you guys have been awesome to talk with, awesome to interact with, and we really do appreciate all the support you guys have shown to the channel. So if you do like the content, you do like talking Sooner football, consider subscribing to the channel, like the video. We really do appreciate that. We love talking Oklahoma ball. Let's get into it. And yes, the offense just put up 49 points. I want to start with the defense, and this was something we've been banging the table about all summer, is what this defense is going to look like under Brent Venables. Couple of different things you might have thought. One, a little bit more passive as you're on the other side of a Jeff Lebby run offense that goes so fast. What did Brent Venables say in the press conference a couple of weeks ago? If you have a problem and you're a defensive player with the pace that the offense runs with, get off the field. And that is what they did. He has these guys swarming around, and this is something that you saw Alex Grinch just not do. I mean, so many rush three, drop eight, taking Nick Bonito and spying him. One of the best pass rushers in the country last year, often spying the quarterback. He's putting these guys in positions where they can go out and be the athletic playmakers that they are. I mean, think about a guy like Deshaun White. Obviously unfortunate, gets kicked out of the game for targeting. He will be back because it was in the first half. He'll be back for next game. But a guy like Deshaun White, a guy like Billy Bowman, freak athletes who can do so many different things for this Oklahoma defense, they're getting to play with their heads on fire. They don't need to just drop in zone coverage. They get to blitz. They get to get downhill. They get to be playmakers, and you're seeing that Oklahoma defense fly around. And I think you saw a tale of two tapes. Like the first drive, Oklahoma was very passive. They were kind of a little rattled, and Nebraska kind of tore them up. After that drive, this Oklahoma defense absolutely showed up, and Nebraska barely got the ball across the 50 the rest of the game. And that was quite frankly because Oklahoma was turning up the heat. Getting Casey Thompson off the spot, getting tackles for a loss, sacks. That's how you get off the field in college football. Oklahoma was racking them up. I'm pretty sure they had 6 TFLs in just the first half with 2 sacks. I mean, those negative plays kill drives, and that's how Oklahoma was getting off the field. Now, let's get to the offense because you also saw Jeff Lebby have his best game from a play calling standpoint. They were able to run the ball extremely well, and that was something that we were interested to see. Were they going to try to establish the run? They certainly can. I love the offensive line. When you look at this offensive line, a guy like Chris Murray, a guy like Anton Harrison. Anton Harrison, I think, could be a legit top 15 pick in April when the NFL draft rolls around. Very strong. He's great in pass protection, but he moves bodies. And you have a guy like Eric Gray who put on some weight. And coming over from UNC last year, he was a guy that I thought would have a massive impact. Kind of got buried in the depth chart last year. He is here to be that lead back. Him and Marcus Major are a phenomenal duo, but Eric Gray, the ability to make people miss at the second level, that offensive line is going to give you one-on-ones with backers at the second level. There's not many running backs in the country that are more suited athletically to make guys miss in tight spaces than Eric Gray. He's put on some weight. He can run between the tackles very well. He's also a very good pass catcher. You saw him have that phenomenal one-handed catch. That type of stuff doesn't go unnoticed. If that game was a little closer in the second half and you turn that 2nd and 10 into a 2nd and 6 with a really good catch, that keeps your offense on schedule. Those type of things Eric Gray can do, and I was absolutely very pleased with how he performed in the biggest game for Oklahoma as of yet. Dylan Gabriel, we talked about this a lot. There's not a better quarterback in the country suited to run this Jeff Lebby offense than Dylan Gabriel. A lot of quick hitters, a lot of slants to the inside, a lot of hitches to the outside. Dylan Gabriel is a very quick release, and he's very accurate. The ball gets there on time and right on the chest. Letting guys like Jalen Farouk, Marvin Mims catch the ball in stride and make stuff happen after the catch. That is vitally important to this OU offense and what Jeff Lebby wants to do. And Dillon Gabriel can certainly do that. You have to be extremely happy with how Dillon Gabriel looked. I don't think it was his best game. You look at it, 16-27, 230 yards. Also made a massive run. That 61-yard touchdown run kind of changed the momentum. It was 3rd and long. Nebraska had all the momentum, just went down and scored a big-time touchdown. Dillon Gabriel making that run happen, he's a playmaker. And that's kind of what you've been looking for. And the best Oklahoma quarterbacks you've seen in the past, guys like Baker Mayfield, guys like Jalen Hurts, they come up in those spots and they make it happen. Dillon Gabriel is that kind of guy. Another guy I just want to give a shout out, Braden Willis, obviously through the touchdown pass. He's a good pass-catching tight end. He's not going to win any awards, but we got a video playing here. He's not going to win any awards for being the best pass-catcher and tight end in the country, but man, can he block. And that's another thing that probably goes a little unnoticed if you're just watching casually, but this dude is a hammer in the run game, opening up holes. And when you want a well-balanced offense, you have to have a tight end that can block, and Braden Willis is a guy who can do that. This Sooners team is a top 5 team in the country. It is very hard to argue that. When you look at the Big 12, Texas, obviously, as a Sooners fan this year, I hope Quinn Ewers is back for that Red River rivalry, just because that game is going to be – I can't wait for it. And I want to see Texas at full strength because I want to see OU get pushed. And you saw them have a little adversity, going down 7-0, 3 and out, giving up a touchdown. OU hasn't really been in that position yet this year. They handled it phenomenally, and Brent Venables and this team just did not flinch. And you look at the Big 12. Are there any teams? Baylor, they look like they can't move the ball on offense. This Big 12 is wide open for Oklahoma. They've dominated the conference for years, and this seems to be another year that a lot of people had questions about all the new faces in the Sooners program. Guess what? Those questions are getting answered, and they're getting answered quickly. The Oklahoma Sooners roll in Lincoln. Again, just wanted to hop on and talk about what I saw from the game. Watched pretty much every single snap, even though my Michigan Wolverines were playing on the other screen. I appreciate you guys checking us out. As usual, Oklahoma -11 cashes for the boys as well. If you do like the content, consider subscribing to the channel. We really do appreciate you guys, and we'll talk to y'all later. Peace.